Well, it's just a little precursor. This man started headlining here at the Kingston Mines back around 1970 or so, and he has been playing his blues all over the world. His rather infamous brother plays blues as well, and we have him here on the show here tonight because he is probably one of the world's most foremost bluesmen. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my distinct pleasure on Show 100 tonight to present to you the legendary Phil Guy.
Just can't believe how could we be true. My life means nothing, so sad without you. Did my best, treat you right. I worked so hard all my life. Scotty. Kingston line. So nice to be back. Done the blues show. All the fans out there that's riding in your Cadillac and your Mercedes out there, come on in the Kingston Mine. Park your car on top of the roof. And we're going to have a wing-dang-doo. Y'all like the low-down blues up in here? Because I was born with the blues. Yeah, I was born with the blues. This is one from the CD. I brought it with me, called For the Last Time. You know, you always say, I ain't going to do that no more. This is for the last time. Okay? 1, 2, 3. we got the blues up here. If you like that blues, say yeah. I can't hear you. Say hell yeah. There ain't no need for you to do me like you do, baby. After all the things I've done for you, yeah. Hey! There ain't no need, it ain't no need, it ain't no need. Ain't no need for you to do me like you do, baby. After all the things I've done for you, yeah. You see, I even do without myself, baby, just to make sure I take care of you. Too late, too late, too late, too late, too late, baby. It's too late, too late, too late, too late, too late, too late. Too late, baby. You did me wrong for the last time. Say what I need this time, baby. I don't care what I leave behind. Too late, baby. Too late, baby. Too late, baby. It's too late, baby. Hey, when I leave this time, baby, look out. I don't care, I don't care, I don't care, I don't care what I leave behind. Too late, baby. Too late, baby. You done me wrong for the last time. Yes. It's too late, baby. You done me wrong for the last time, but I still love you. I still love you, baby. And you know what? She said, where's my money? Give me some money. I said, what? Hey, y'all come out to the party or what? Did y'all come out here to party? Come on up here, somebody. Come on, y'all. I want. Oh. Give me my money, woman. yeah. Ooh. Baby, that's what I want. Hey, that's money. That's the money. That's what I want. She told me she wanted the money. But then, you know, I grew up on Muddy Waters and John Lee Hooker and stuff like that. Y'all know anything about that? All right, I'm going to try a little Muddy Water because I got a little money in my veins, you know. Gee, fellas. love, little girl. Please call me on the phone sometime. Says you love me, little girl. Please call me on the phone sometime. I want you to pick up the receiver. I want you to ease my troubled mind. Yeah, my phone ringing. It sounds just like a long distance call. Hey, hear my phone ringing. Sounds just like a long distance call. Hey, when you pick up the receiver, you're talking about another mule that's kicking in your stall. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Come here, woman. to show you how nice a man can be. Hey, I'm gonna buy you a brand new Mercedes. Oh yeah, oh yeah. If you only say a few kind words about me. That's all I want. Street, and I was having the blues. They say the Kingston Mine had the best blues in town. But after a while, me and all the fellas got together with Charlie Love and the fellas, and everybody was singing, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Somebody said, Doc, another mule is kicking your stall. That's the blues from way back. Some good old Muddy Waters blues, you know? Yes. Yes. You know, you can't come into Kingston Mine without doing some of that good old blues, you know? Ain't that right? Yeah. See, I'm from Louisiana. You got to talk to me. Yeah. Because I got a little mud in my soul and my veins and all that stuff, you know? And we just love to do that stuff. This is a tune that all the fellas and the blues guys is kind of gone, you know, and we did this called The Last of the Blues Singers because everybody else is gone. And I'm speaking of myself here. One, two, you know what to do. blues singer. Everybody says it's gone. Muddy water. Gone. The howling wolf. Gone. Junior Wells is gone. Luther Allison too. Everybody else is gone. The last of the blues singer. Everybody else is gone. I tell you, the last of the blues singer. Everybody else is gone, 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 gone. I'm the last of the blues singer. Hey, everybody else is gone. Last of the blues singer. Yes. That's from the CD. Now, I told you I brought it with me. I got about 30 CDs. Now, I don't want to take them back home. It's getting close to Christmas, and this is the cheapest, best Christmas present you can buy. Don't buy no more than $50 neckties, okay? They're only $15, and you can get this for a Christmas present or for a Thanksgiving present, whatever. Or you keep it yourself. You buy it too. Yes. Uh-huh. Yeah. But, you know, this is the home of the blues right here. And the Kingston Mine is always around every night in the week. You got something going on here. But this is where we used to play blues. I'm going to do one of my brother's songs, too. This is called You Must Be Stone Damn Crazy. We got 10 minutes to live by. And we're going to do 5 minutes of Stone Crazy. See, 2, 3. with tears rolling on down my eyes. Hey! You know the little girl, she looked at me and said, ooh, baby, ain't one time. You better act like you love me, baby. SAMMON. What about it for Frank Pellegrino? Gonna tell you about everything going on every night in the week. Kick in, kick off the shoes and stomp the feet.
Thanks a lot, Phil. I want y'all to put your hands together one more time for Phil Guy and his band. I think they're doing a heck of a job up in here tonight. Show 100 here at the Kingston Mines, and along with Phil, sitting next to him here on guitars, my good friend O.C. Anderson. How about it for O.C.?
Man in the back right there, that's Vernon RODGERS on the drums tonight.
Oh, yeah, the guy on bass over here, HASAN Khan. Let's give it up one time for Hassan.
Guy right over here to my right will be the featured artist next week's show. This is Marty Salmon. Put your hands together one time for Marty Salmon.
Once again, you've been listening to the Blues live at the Kingston Mines. All of this has been brought to you by the fine folks at Victoria Amps, keeping the sound of post-war Chicago alive. You can call them by picking up your phone, going to 630-369-3527, or online
at victoriaamp.com. Also have to thank all our friends at Miller Lite and MGD. $2 bottles each and every Thursday night here at the Kingston Mines.
And, of course, all the fine folks here at Kingston Mines, the Doc's Rib Joint. First off, our bartenders tonight, Scott and Nancy, along with Tim back there behind the bar. I can't hear you. And over here, I see Jennifer and that looks like Sarah, your waitresses tonight. Let's give them a nice round of applause.
As long as you're keeping your hands together, do it one time for the sound man in the back, working hard to make this sound as good in the house as it does on the radio, as it does on the internet. That's Ted Dunham from Ted Sounding.
And, of course, Vesna and Don back in the kitchen. Colleen and Rosie over the booth. They're all the folks working hard for you at the Kingston Mines tonight. Let's give them a nice round of applause. One more time for the band on the stand. Let's get on out of here, y'all. Phil Guy. Quarter. I want to hear Phil Guy on the jukebox tonight. Phil Guy and the band. How about it? Live at the Kingston
Mines. What do you think, Chicago? Is that low down and dirty enough for you tonight?
And that's show 100 on the books. I think it was a great one tonight. One of many, 100 in a row, and we're coming up on our second-year anniversary. All of this is possible not only just because of great bands like Phil Guy and all the rest of the guys who play the blues, but because of people like you out here in the audience here in the club tonight and all the folks who are listening to us on the radio and online. It keeps the blues alive and well. We thank you all very much. Give yourselves a nice round of applause.
Phil's latest CD is called Say What You Mean. It's on JSP Records. It's available at fine record stores around the world. For those of you in house here tonight, he does have some copies up here on the stage. You can pick them up right here. Grab a pen, though, and have the man autograph it. A true legend of the blues here tonight. I hope you guys had some fun and dug the show as much as we did.
And speaking of which, we want to also congratulate George Brown for winning. He was our caller number 12, and you can contest with us every time you tune in to us on the radio or online. Listen for more details.
A few more people we have to thank who have helped make this whole thing possible include the owner of the Kingston Mines, Doc Pellegrino. He's upstairs listening to the show right now. Put your hands together one time. Thank the man for not only keeping the show alive, but keeping the blues here at the Kingston Mines alive for over 33 years now.
And on behalf of my dad, I'll thank you for that. But I want to take time to thank people who are all about the blues here in Chicago, too. Guys who've been on the show, like Phil Guy here tonight, his second trip down here with us. And I give them another nice round of applause. The band next door tonight, Charlie Love and his Silky Smooth Band, has made a record number of appearances on the show and just recently saved us from what could have been rather an interesting evening of interviews. So Charlie, an incredible help here at the Kingston Mines and on the radio show, and I want to thank him personally for that. Also, I got to thank Andre Taylor and the Blues Alley Cats, the other half of a great team here at the Kingston Mines. And these guys always put in 110%, and we hope you guys can appreciate just how much the blues means to these people, especially guys like this one right here. Put your hands together one more time. He's got his new CD with him. Get yourself autographed copy. Mr. Phil Guy and his band, and we'll be right back after this word. Talk to Phil Guy for y'all.
Come on, Chicago, you're live at the Kingston Mine.
1410 a.m. WRMN and online at kingstonmines.com.
4 a.m. blues. That's what I'm talking about. That's what we're all singing here at the Kingston Mines, because that's how late the music goes 7 nights a week. Well, I guess 6 nights a week. You could say it goes till 5 a.m. on Saturdays.
That's true. And well, so technically it does go to 4 a.m. 7 nights a week and an extra hour on Saturday. Let's put it that way, and it sounds even bigger and better. Speaking of which, the music there was terrific. The same guy who was on the bandstand tonight, if you'll excuse the pun, Phil Guy, those 4 a.m. blues, and then You at My Door. It's on the Say What You Mean on JSP, and what terrific music, and what a great set tonight.
Phil is trying to work his way back here right now. Javier, our intern, producer, / executive assistant, has just said that he's being besieged by autograph seekers up front, and people are handing him pocketfuls of money and just trying to get all his CDs. So
yeah,
he'll be back here any minute. But it's a nice crowd here tonight at the Kingston Mines. Great set of blues from Phil Guy, start to finish, real low-down, dirty Chicago-style blues.
And as we like to say, the weekends always start on Thursday night at the Kingston Mines, and what a great way of starting out. Phil used to play here back in the day when our weekends actually were Thursday through Saturday here at the Kingston Mines, and the bands would do the 3-night stretch. And Phil was just, I remember growing up listening to Phil Guy. So I can't think of anything musically that he's ever done that I haven't found fabulous.
Well, we'll talk a little bit more about Phil when we get him back here. Let's take care of business at hand first, though, Frank. Big weekend here at the Kingston Mines. Of course, I'm talking about Vance Kelly on Friday and Saturday night, and then the big benefit on Sunday.
Well, I'm really pleased with the way things are going with the benefit. But again, I'm urging everybody to help us get the word out on this. It's going to be a 16-hour show starting from noon until 4 a.m. I have asked a lot of my very closest friends who I've learned and watched from for some over 33 years now next month, playing the blues, and they've agreed to come down here. The lineup and the time schedule as it stands right now, we're going to kick things off at noon with Detroit Jr. playing solo piano bar, and that'll be followed by Lurie Bell with the Rockin' Johnny Band. At 2 o'clock, we have Lindsey Alexander and his band. 3 o'clock will be Howard Scott and the World Band with Little Johnny Johnson. 4 o'clock is Nellie Tiger Travis and Men in Black. 5 o'clock is John Primer and the Real Deal Blues Band. 6 o'clock, I will be on stage with my friends. We'll be playing some blues. 7 o'clock, over on the main stage again, we're going to have Eddie Shaw and the Wolfgang. 8 o'clock, it's Sam Cockerell and the Groove. 9 o'clock, and I think one of the biggest parts of the show everybody's looking forward to is Sun Seals returning to the bandstand, and we're going to have some of the original members of the original Fire Band down here to sit in and play during that show, so it's going to be really terrific. 10 o'clock brings you Andre Taylor and the Blues Alley Cats. 11 o'clock is the Chicago Rhythm and Blues Kings. Midnight with Chico Banks and Company. 1 a.m. the award-winning Willie Kent and the Gents, and then the jam will start from 2 until 4 with, get this, Kevon Smith, formerly of Ooze Magazine. He tours all the time with Buddy Miles, and of course Buddy's bass player Joe Thomas. So it's going to be a really great set down here. It's 16 hours of blues for $15. It'll feature 15 bands, and there are all kinds of people who are going around and be in town. It's for a great cause, and that's the reason why these people could all come together in one place and do this, and it's really terrific. Speaking of really terrific, the show on our stage tonight has just been catching the imagination in here. Joining us back here in our studio tonight and on stage here at the Kingston Mines for Show 100, a man who needs very, very little introduction because his name is synonymous with Chicago blues, the legendary Mr. Phil Guy. Phil, it is such a pleasure to have you with us here tonight. Thank you for coming down.
Got to always check out the Kingston Mine. If you don't check out the Kingston Mine, you miss half of the blues, over half of it, better part of the blues.
Well, and I recall watching you back in the days, and, my dad had me working in here years and years and years ago, and it was so great because it was such a musical, education for me, watching people like you and your brother. And there's so many families in the blues. You know, the Williams family, the Johnson family, the Kinsey family, to be sure.
The
you know,
Brookses, the
Scots,
the
the
Bells.
Scots, the Bells. And when you look at all these families, and it was like, you know, and I remember going to, you know, in the summertime, one person would throw a cookout, and we'd all be over at their house barbecuing on a Sunday afternoon, and we'd all have gigs that night, or we'd all have to go into work someplace that night. And it's just like, and it was so nice, you know, and it would be nice if we could do that kind of stuff again, you know.
Oh, yeah, you know, like the old blues, and we had old guys like Lefty Deers and everybody, and we'd start the breakfast blues, you know.
Yeah, and it didn't stop. You know, back in the day, before some of the laws changed, and there was a good reason for those laws to change. We were able to oftentimes sit in here and just jam until 7, 8 in the morning. And if it didn't happen here, we'd go over to somebody's house or somebody's studio, and all the instruments come out, and just incredible music. I was, just a matter of fact, I was thinking at a party you and I were at one time. James Cotton and Junior Wells and Sugar Blue and Max Simmons, and they were all sitting in my living room playing harmonica, and everybody just sort of sitting there keeping time for them. Oh, but those were the days.
Yeah, those were the days, you know, and I hope the young guys don't let the real blues die, and because, like I say, I am the last of the blues singers, and everybody else is going. I'm not going to be always myself, so the younger guys got to hold on to the roots, you know. Don't run over it and let it go crazy. You know, just do some real good blues and keep it alive.
I was real happy that you did that song today, Phil. That's one of the better songs, I think, on the album. We played it last time you were on the show. It was cool to hear the live version today. What inspired you to write that song? I mean, is that really the way you feel? I mean, you feel like...
Yeah, because, you know, with Junior Wells and Muddy Waters and Howlin' Wolf, now John Lee Hooker is gone. I could add that in there. You know, the real blues guys, they are all gone. And just a few of us left real playing the heavy blues. But, you know, I don't knock the new blues because what goes around come around. But I wish the fellas would kind of stick to some of the old blues a little better.
I hear you, I hear you.
And now, and Dave, and if we'll get you down here one of these Monday nights so that you can see the show we're putting on here. But see, these are the guys I grew up watching, and when I get together with my band, this is the kind of stuff that we try to emulate. It doesn't have to be so loud that it hurts your body when you walk out of the club, your ears ringing and stuff like this. And it's just like, and every song has a memory of its own, you know, and it takes on its own life. And there's just something about the way you put on a blues show, Phil, that it intrigues me. You have that little spark. There's a little sparkle there in everything you got going on stage. And, you know, it's hard for our audience on the radio and on the Internet to be able to catch that because we can't broadcast the pictures of what's going on.
Right, right.
But you're just so exciting to watch up on the bandstand, and the band is terrific tonight. I'm really glad to see OC is back in town.
Yeah, Big O, he's back. You know, he's been around. And all the guys that I usually deal with, we've played together for the last 15 to 20 years. You know, they go play with another band, come back. We never fall out. You know,
don't stray too far.
Well, we all got to pay the rent. That's what it is, Phil. You know, that never changes. Have a rent party sometime.
Oh yeah.
Hey Phil, we just played a couple of songs from the album. The last one that we checked out was the instrumental 4 a.m. Blues. Was that written about the Kingston Mines?
I think so. Because
yeah, it's going to be tonight maybe, right?
4 a.m. Blues, you better believe that, yeah, because, you know, hey, y'all, if y'all riding around out there, like I said, and ain't got nothing to do or trying to find something to do, come to the Kingston Mine because we'll put something on your mind.
Yeah, I got a question. You got 2 more sets by contract tonight, but you signed about 400 CDs. I think your hand's going to be a little tired to play that guitar, man. We might have to not let anybody have their CDs autographed anymore. We got to save some of that strength for your guitar playing for the last 2 sets.
Yeah.
Well, you know, after I get off the set tonight, I got to go to the airport because I got to catch a 9 o'clock flight and go down to Florida.
Oh, man.
So that's what the blues is all about.
Yeah, no sleep for the weary, right?
And I want to ask you this, and I ask you this because I've known you for, God, almost 3 decades now. You know, obviously your brother is wildly popular, especially among the rock and rollers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And, you know, there are some distinct differences in your styles. You and Buddy came up playing together, but you've always maintained separate units, or?
No, I was a rhythm for him for so long, you know. And when he first started, because he never was a rhythm man, he was always a lead man. So I kind of played rhythm all the time. I never thought I was going to be a leader, you know, because I was satisfied playing the rhythm, really. And he was doing a CD, and the guy come up, John Studman said, hey, he said, do a song. And I did a song, And ever since I made a CD, you know, they bring you out of the woods. You know.
No, wait a minute. This wasn't a CD. This was before they had CDs.
That was a 78.
That's a big CD. That's wasn't that when you were doing when he was doing Stone Crazy, right?
Yeah.
And you guys were overseas, wasn't that? I think that's my favorite Buddy Guy album, but it's got you on it on the rhythm, and I think J.W. Williams is playing the bass.
Yeah,
Another name here, synonymous.
Red Killer Ray.
Yeah, exactly. And what a great story that then they saw you and had you do a couple songs, and next thing you know, I think recently didn't they release an album that you recorded at the same time, right? Like the next day or something like that?
Right.
Yeah, some real good stuff, man. I like that story. It's great to see you out in the front, though, because you definitely have your own style and your own feel for the blues, and it's every bit as powerful, you know, and the people really dig it. That's what's important.
I've always been a big Phil Guy fan. I mean, and for me, we've done 100 shows, and we've done tons and tons of interviews, but it's like I'm really tickled to have you here tonight because to me, you know, for having almost, you know, December 12th is my 33rd anniversary here. And it's just like you are one of my favorite memories of working here, especially when I was younger, because you were always not only such a great musician, but you were always, you know, you were kind enough if I didn't understand something or if I wanted to know something, you always took the time to tell me about this, that, and the other. And you know, it's guys like you that draw guys like me into the blues, and you know, once you get that little taste, you can never walk away from it. It's always there, and I want to personally just thank you publicly for that, because Phil, you've been a real inspiration to me.
Well, thank you, Frank. You've been a nice guy to me all my life too, ever since I met you. You know, and when I find a guy like that and they have the blues in them, you know, it is just something that you can't get over. You know, you get old and you might feel like you're tired, but when you meet people like tonight and come up and everybody's so happy and enjoying everything, you wonder where the energy come from.
Oh, sure. Yeah. And a terrific group out here. And young people like Dave here, too, also help a lot because, you know, his
young man.
That's right. And his knowledge of the discography and the CDs and everything, you know, he takes the time with a passion to be able to keep track of all these things so that when we play something, you know, he can authoritatively tell people what's going on, because it's that education that carries on the blues. They can pass it on to their friends, and, you know, it just doesn't stop. So, Dave, we thank you very much. Somebody else I got to thank, too, I know we're running out of time here, is Ted Dunham, our sound man. 100 shows he's done here with us, and all of them just the finest quality. You know, we do here with a minimal budget what large stations have a hard time doing with a huge truck outside and 1,000 people running around.
You got that right.
He does an incredible job. And, of course, Javier, who is our intern and is now co-engineer / producer / slasher on the show here. You know, these guys work really hard behind the scenes, and you can't see or hear them because they're standing 2 feet away from us making sure that we sound so great. And last but not least, you know, I want to thank Kyle. You know, Cornbread spent a long time on this show and did a tremendous job, and had to move on to some other things, but another huge inspiration and bringing you 100 weeks of blues here. And Phil, we want to thank you so much for doing the show tonight. I can't think of anybody else I would have wanted to have here tonight.
Well, I appreciate you having me again, Frank. And it seemed like every time I do the show, the last time I had to drive way up to on the other side of Michigan. Last time we did the show, got off. But I love it, though, every time we play here. And you're going to have to try to get me in here one of these weekends.
Yeah, well, we'll make sure that we'll talk Doc
Yeah, I
Scott
think that
on
would be a lot of fun.
Yeah,
I think it'd be a lot
you
of fun.
did weekends here for years, so, you know, I understand that. And thank you for taking the blues message out there. You know, I realize there are towns out there where children go to bed at night and they don't get a chance to hear the blues, so we know you're out there taking it to the people. And thank you just so much for being Phil Guy all these years.
Thank you so much. Where's cornbread?
Cornbread?
Yeah.
I think it's in the oven right now. And speaking of which, my name is Frank Pellegrino. I'm here with Phil Guy, Dave Herda, Javier, our producer, along with Ted Dunham and everyone on the staff at the Kingston Mines. You've been listening to the Chicago Blues Explosion live at the Kingston Mines, Show 100 tonight. And my own personal thought that I'll share with all of you is it's been a great 100. Let's go for 1,000 from here, Dave.
Exactly. So make sure you tune in next week for Marty Salmon and his blues band. Should be a lot of fun. Send us an email if you want a chance to win all those great CDs, including the autographed Sun Seals Spontaneous Combustion CD. That address, again, is radio@bluesexplosion.com. We'll pick a winner next week in that contest, and make sure you come on out Sunday and join us for the benefit. It promises to be a great time.
And if you'd like to help us pass the word on Sunday's benefit,
you can email me directly at hotblues@ameritech.net tonight between now and noon tomorrow, and I will try to get those forwarded back to you as quickly as I can. And just go through your address book there on the web and send it out to all your friends and let the world know that Chicago cares. We thank you all for tuning in tonight.
We'll see you next week. Peace.
Peace.
Peace.